All right, so we are doing the fourth part of lesson 4, and we're just going to get and make sure that we know all the steps there is to solve multiplication problems with the standard algorithm. So our warm-up here gives us the problem 143 times 26. So I'll just rewrite that over here. Now in red, I will circle our ones, which is our sixes. So it's basically 6 times 3, 6 times 40, 6 times 100. But we don't do it that way. We can do it the standard algorithm way, which is a lot quicker. So we do 6 times 3, which we know is 18. And 6 times 4 is 24, plus the 1 is 25. And 6 times 1, which is 6, plus a 2, which is 8. And then we've got a 2, which is in the tens place. So that's like it's 20 times 3, 20 times 40, 20 times 100. But in order to do a shortcut on that, we just put a 0 down here before we start any multiplication. And that will basically represent what it'd be like to multiply 143 times 20. So we have 2 times 3, which is 6, 2 times 4, which is 8, and 2 times 1, which is 2. We didn't have any regrouping on that part, so it's pretty easy to do that one. And our final answer, we just add them up. We have 8, 6 plus 5 is 11, 8 plus 8 is 16, plus that 1 is 17, and then we have 2 plus 1, which is 3, for a final answer of 3,718. If you want to put the comma here, you put it right behind the thousands place, and you've got your final answer. So the rest of the lesson will be very similar to that. Here on page 71, just open up to that. And what you will see is this question. And one of the questions I wanted to ask here is, why do we always put a 0 in the ones place? Like, why do we always put that 0 right here? And the answer for that, of course, is because we are multiplying by 20 for this particular one. Like that 2 right there, we're multiplying by 20. And that 0 just is tacked onto there. So anytime, so if we were multiplying, for example, 379 times 600 or 602, just randomly, that first line would be 3 digits, and then the next line would be 10 because that would be the tens, and then this line would be 2 zeros because we'd be doing it by the hundreds, so on and so forth. So that's what they're asking for that question. Like, why is that 0 there? Because that represents tens. These 2 zeros represent hundreds. And if we went the next line, it would be 3 zeros, and that would be thousands. I'll just put thousands. So it's always related to what place value it is. But let's not get too caught up in that. Let's jump right into the notes. If you look down below to number 1, we have a certain washing machine. I guess they wouldn't be very particular. Uses 29 gallons of water for each load of laundry washed. How many gallons of water would the washing machine use for 156 loads of laundry? My gosh, that's a lot of laundry. That's a busy Sunday. So let's set up the problem. We have 156 loads, and then there's 29 gallons of water per load. So we know it's a multiplication problem. I'll do my ones first. We have 9 times 6 is 54. 9 times 5 is 45, plus the 5 gives us 49. Or 50, excuse me, I did that. 9 times 5, 45, plus 5 is 50. I made the same mistake when I did this out on my own at home. And 9 times 1 is 9, plus the 5 is 14. See, even the teacher makes math mistakes sometimes. All right, so put your 0 here because we're starting with tens. So 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11. 2 times 1 is 2, plus the 1 is 3. So we got 4, 2, 5, and 4. So 4,524 gallons of water. Turn the page. We're not doing all of these, we're just doing the ones I thought would be most useful. All right, so this is a two-parter. It's a two-stepper. So I want you to split this in the middle. Over here, right, not too big, so you don't want to use up your space. Step 1. And over here is step 2. Container construction site is shaped like a rectangular prism. Well, I see that word, rectangular prism, and I think of volume. Plus, not to mention the fact, you've got length, width, and height right there. That should trigger your brain to think of volume equals length times width times height. It sure triggered mine. All right, so the first step is grab any two numbers. We're just going to go with the first two, 49 and 45. And we're going to multiply those two together. So 9, and let's again keeping my color scheme going here. 9 times 5 is 45. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 4 is 24. You've got the tens. 4 times 9 is 36. 4 times 4 is 16. 9 is 1960. Let's add these up. We got 5. 6 plus 4 is 10. 9 plus 2 is 11. Plus that one is 12. 2,205. Time for step 2. We still have to multiply one other number, which in this case is 25. Okay. Let's start with the ones. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 0 is 0, but we bring down a 2. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 2 is 10, plus that 1 is 11. Got a pretty big number there. Let's do our tens. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 0 is 0, plus the 1 is the 1. 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 times 2 is also 4. Now, give me a lot of room here, so bear with me. So I will have 5, 2, 1, 5, and 5. So we have 55,125 cubic feet. That wasn't so bad now, was it? All right, let's look at question 3. Question 3 looks daunting, but I can show you an easier way to do it. Raquel can type 63 words per minute every minute. Rick can type 73 words every minute. Good for you, Rick. How many more words can Rick type than Raquel in 135 minutes? So this phrase, underline that, how many more? That means you're going to subtract something. So let's do that. Let's do 73 minus 63. And that's something we can handle. 3 minus 3 is 0, 7 minus 6 is 1. So it gives us 10. So Rick can type 10 more words per minute than Raquel. But they want to know how many words more is that in 135 minutes? Well, that's easy. Let's do 135 times 10. Now, remember I showed you that trick of multiplying numbers by numbers that have a 0 in them? So 135 times 1 is 135. You bring over how many zeros you have. It's 1,350 words. So that just so happens to be A. And they want to know, Jared chose B as the correct answer. How did you get the answer? We don't care, Jared. Just do it the way we did it. You'll be fine. Number 4. All right. Mrs. Katie constructs a cube with 216 magnetic blocks. Over pictured there at the right. Students in her class, 2 classes will each make an identical cube. There's 28 students in one class and 25 students in the other. How many magnetic blocks does she need to help all her students? Well, let's split this into 2 steps. Step B1, step B2. All right, first step, let's combine all of those students. So we got 28 in one class, 25 in the other. How many total students is Mrs. Katie working with? Well, We have 53 students. Each of those blocks has 216 cubes, and she's got 53 kids, and she wants to make sure everybody in her class can make one of those. So she needs to figure this out before she makes her order. Let's start with the ones. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 1 is 3, plus the 1 is 4. 3 times 2 is 6. Next, we'll do the tens. To be a 10, you got to just start with a 0. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 1 is 5, plus the 3 is 8. 5 times 2 is 10. Let's add them up. We got 8, 4, 14, 1, 1. So she needs 11,448 blocks. Wow, that's a lot. All right, lucky you. You kids get to skip the next 3 problems. Cross out 5, cross out 6, and you guessed it, cross out 7. And you can cross out 9 while you're at it, because these are questions I didn't think were much use to us. And look at this, another 2-step problem. Step 1, and then step 2. Okay, step 1. Oh, let's read the problem first. At the start of the day, there's 78 boxes of DVDs in a warehouse. Each box has 116 DVDs. Then 19 of the boxes are shipped. So there are 78 boxes of DVDs, and then underline each box has 116 DVDs, and then underline 19 of the boxes are shipped. So that means we're taking 19 out of the warehouse. So if we're taking away, we're subtracting. Let's see how many we have left here. All right, let's borrow. Bigger bottom, better borrow. So 18 minus 9 is 9, and 6 minus 1 is 5. So they have 59 boxes left in the warehouse. But how many DVDs are physically in the warehouse at this point? Well, one box has 116 DVDs. There's 59 of these boxes. Let's figure it out. 9 times 6 is 54. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 5, which is 14. 9 times 1 is 9, plus the 1, which is 10. We have our 10s, so start with our 0 here. 5 times 6, which is 30. 5 times 1, which is 5, plus the 8. And then 5 times 1, which is 5. Let's add them all up. 4, 4, 8, and 6. So 6,844 DVDs. Who even uses DVDs anymore? Just go ahead and stream off your computer or your phone. All right, so that is that for the notes. Again, you're always welcome to just go back and watch the videos to check on those and make sure that you got all the notes, or pause them. Another feature you can use, just to go ahead and pause. All right, let's clear the ink. And your homework is more IXL. This time, go to the next one than last one. C15, you're going to multiply 2-digit numbers by 3-digit numbers. So we're just ramping it up by 1 more digit. Again, I encourage you to solve these on a separate sheet of paper and then type them in, and use a multiplication table to check your multiplication, because if you're off, say you write down that 9 times 3 equals 24, but it's actually 27, that'll throw your whole answer off. So double check your work before you type in your final answer. Good luck.